I'm starting a new series today to try to help me and all of us slow down just a little bit. I'm calling this my Sunday sessions. I'm just going to be sitting down to make something and taking a video and doing very minimal editing on it. I think these things will be around 10 minutes long. And for my first one, I thought I would share my process with you for making one of my land love journals. If you want to see what this project is about, I'll put a link in the description. I've got my nice candle here and some lovely tea. My tea of summer is this raspberry and lemon tea from Twinings, if you can get it. I hope you'll give it a try. The first thing I wanted to make a note of in my land love journal for this month is my gorgeous hydrangeas. I've never grown these before, and we put a pink bush in at our cottage and it has come out beautifully. It's still small, but I expect it'll get much bigger in the coming years. They are a really light pink color, so I'm adding that here. And of course, hydrangeas, if you get them right and they're growing well, they're just like big poofs of flowers. So that's what I'm just representing here. And then I'll come back in a second with a bit of a darker pink marker and just put a bit of definition in. These flowers are a little bit hard to depict. They actually have like a darker pink outline on each of the blossoms. But anyway, they're very pretty flowers. The birds love them. The hummingbirds love them. The pollinators love them. So even though they're not indigenous to my area, I feel like it's a good thing that I planted them. And I'm using Tombow markers a lot in this video. These are really lovely markers to work with. They have this brush tip pen on one end and a finer point tip on the other end. They can really do a lot in your art practice. I do suggest picking up a few, like a handful of different colors to see if you're going to use them or not, because they're a little bit expensive, so maybe don't go and buy a big set. Hydrangeas grow on a small bush, and they've got these beautiful big leaves. Is half the reason I love them. So I want to represent some of the bush and the beautiful leaves here in this video as well. I'm using this lighter sort of sage green Tombow marker, just coloring really loosely, just to kind of represent the leaves of this beautiful plant. And I'm just going to write in what this is so that I remember when I pull out this little book in the future. I'm using a cartridge type pen here. I think that's what it's called. It actually writes beautifully. It's just that this paper is kind of fibrous, soft paper, so it's not the best surface for using this type of pen, but I actually really enjoy using this pen. It has a traditional pen nib on it, and it's really nice to write with. You can get lots of different colors, and I'll put the brand in the description. I can't forget to pay tribute to all the beautiful little goldfinch birds that are around, and I'll chat about goldfinches more in a few minutes. For this, I'm using a sticker that I made myself. I downloaded a graphic from Century Library and printed it on this translucent sticker paper. If you want to know more about Century Library, there's a link in the description below, and I'll chat more about that as the video goes on as well. Another thing I want to pay tribute to is the butterfly milkweed that we had the good wisdom to plant again at our cottage, in our new garden at our cottage. If you followed me for a while, we had a terrible ice storm last year at our cottage and we lost 17 trees off of our property. So in one of the spots where we had a huge cedar tree, we put in a beautiful garden. So one of the things we planted is this butterfly milkweed. Butterfly milkweed is much loved by the monarch butterfly. This type of milkweed has an important function for pollinators because it provides some very nutritious nectar for small birds. Hummingbirds seem to love it, and all the bees and wasps and different pollinators that are around. The milkweed has tiny little orange flowers. They are gorgeous, bright orange color, almost the same orange as you find in the monarch butterfly. And they're growing on top of little stems off of the main branches of the plant. So that's what I am representing here. Again, using a Tombow marker in this orangey color. I'm just drawing lots and lots of little blooms on the stems of this butterfly milkweed plant. Butterfly milkweed has tons of little sort of sword-shaped leaves growing on either side of the stem. It's a beautiful deep green color that makes a lovely contrast with the orange flowers. So I'm just adding in a bunch of leaves onto my little plant that I'm drawing. Now I also printed out some little monarch butterflies on translucent sticker paper, again from Century Library. Century Library is a beautiful resource. They have thousands of genuine vintage graphics that have been scanned in from real books. It's a really inexpensive monthly membership fee, and I use it all the time. And again, there is a link in my bio if you're interested. If you love vintage art and you do scrapbooking and things like that, you'll enjoy it a lot. And again, I'll just write in the name of the butterfly milkweed so that I remember what I was representing here in the future, just in case I forget what I was trying to draw here. I'm going to add another little tribute to goldfinches here. They are such sweet, gorgeous little birds. We noticed we have many more of them around right now, and they're showing up at our feeder very frequently and probably eating their own weight in black oiled sunflower seed every day. And that's fine because we love seeing them. I looked it up and learned that they actually nest really late in the season. They start nesting in early July, and then their babies are born around the end of July. So that's why they're around more right now, I guess. And they do this because there's less predators. And I just love that, and we're so happy to have them. So I wanted to add something else for them here. And then I'll just give them a few little branchy things around their nest. And their little song is so sweet, and we're just so happy to have them. Unfortunately, I turned my camera off for a second to have some tea and forgot to turn it back on. I wanted to share these beautiful gerbera daisies that we had the good wisdom to plant this year. They have been giving flowers all season long, like since May. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I'm so glad we planted them, and we will plant more of them again. Ours are this really beautiful orangey red vermilion color. They're just so beautiful to look at every day. And the birds and the pollinators really seem to like them as well. They've got lovely, lush green leaves. And I'm just using my Tombow markers to put some leaves in for these as well. Again, I'm just doing loose drawing, coloring them in really loosely, just so that I can represent them in my land love journal. I decided I needed to add this little turtle here. We have seen so many turtles this summer. It's lovely. We have them just around our cottage roaming around. Sometimes we see snapping turtles, and then sometimes we see painted turtles that are more sort of out in the grass. Cute little things. I would be remiss if I didn't pay tribute to the beautiful fruits and vegetables that our garden is giving us this year. We planted 5 or 6 heirloom tomato plants, and we're getting some really gorgeous tomatoes from our plants a few times a week. I'm using my Neocolor 2 crayons here to draw some tomatoes. I hold my Neocolor 2 crayons too hard, so they sometimes break for me, but that doesn't normally happen. So don't think that Neocolor 2s are very easily breakable the way they are for me personally. So I'm just coloring in these really lovely tomatoes quickly. And one of the great things about Neocolors is that you can wet them with a brush with a little water on it and just blend everything together, and it gives you this really rich, beautiful color. And then I came back with this bright green crayon just to give them a little bit of leaves on the top and the bottom of the tomato. I drew a nice long stalk. As I mentioned, our tomato plants are taller than I am at this point. It's really quite something. And they've got these lovely green, lush leaves and stems on them, and they're just beautiful. And that's it for my dedication to the land for this month. And I just added a piece of paper packing tape here so that I could write the date on it. And there we go. I've got this nice little memory book where I have given a tribute to the land for the month of July. There's my gerberas, my tomatoes, my goldfinches, the hydrangeas, and the butterfly milkweed. I'll just tie this up with a little piece of ribbon, And I like keeping these all together in this little vintage recipe tin. It's really nice to just take them out and look at them. Thank you for joining me for this first of my Sunday sessions. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you got inspired to journal your world.